cookies and setting them up onto your browsers and how to add these cookies, delete them, things like that. Um, hey, Karan. Um, so, so let's just get into it. So first off, let me show. If anyone can't see properly, let me know. I'm trying to zoom in. Hopefully, it's readable. Just let me know if something's going on. This is the first time I'm doing this, so bear with me. Um, so, so I'm actually be talking about setting up cookies inside your browsers, and so here's a kind of like a rundown. Um, so I'm setting up this cookies test. Here I have name, path, the domain. If you're familiar with cookies, these are kind of some like the staples of creating a cookie. Now, I'm going to be testing out on store.steampower.com, and that's we're going to be messing with the language on the browser. So if I go to this guy here, turn it up. Yes, yes, I can. Let's turn up my mic. Good call. How's this? Hopefully this is better. I know there's like a slight delay. Okay, so so for right now, we're gonna actually be working with the language. So I'm in Firefox. I'm inspecting. Um, let's go to our console. What is it? Where's the cookies located? In this guy. Where did I put? Come on. All right, this is what we're gonna do then. Chrome is the better. Here we go. Inspect. All right, let's go to resources, cookies, Steam powered. So if you notice right now, we don't have a language set, right? And the functionality is it takes your IP, looks at where you're from, and will select a language based on that. But now if I change languages to, say, Spanish, you'll notice our cookies are going to refresh, and we're going to have a Steam language Spanish cookie. So we're going to be editing this and trying to add it and remove it, and then we're going to test it. So back to our code, I know that we have our name of our cookies Steam language. The path, it's just located in its root. We have our domain, and they also will take a few other parameters. And here's an example in Selenium, 5 of the constructors. And usually it will take the name of the cookie. All of them usually take the name of the cookie and the value you set. Now, you can also add in a path if it's located somewhere else inside the root. You can add an expiration date for this cookie. So if you set this cookie, say some time, some date, say, for 5 minutes. After that 5 minutes, this cookie will expire, and then your browser won't respect that cookie value that you've already set. Then the last one is cookie 5, where you can set if it's a secure cookie or not. So if you're running something in HTTPS, this is something where you would set true. Otherwise, you just can ignore it. The one that I mostly use is just the top one, and that's the one we're going to kind of use for our testing. And we're going to be running 3 tests. We're going to add the English, Spanish, and then we're actually going to delete the Spanish cookie, and it should take us back to English because that is the location of where I am. So, and assuming that's the functionality for whatever the devs may say. So let's get into it. I'm going to set up my driver. If you've watched my past tutorials, I'm using the driver factory based on my my properties file here. So I'm setting my browser to Chrome. Actually, I'm going to set it to Firefox using the grid. No, we're going to run locally. Also, I have a tutorial on Selenium Grid, so if you want to check that out, it'll explain how and how I use this parameter. And then I have my base URL that I'm going to be using. So let's start with the first one. So we want to driver.get, and we're going to get our base URL. So she'll open up Steam. We're going to open up Steam. And when you want to manage your cookies, it's usually driver.manage.add. So you're going to get a few. You have addCookie. You can delete all cookies in your current session. You can delete cookie by its name. You can delete cookie by the object cookie, like we have here, the 5 that I've created. You can get cookie by name, or just straight get all cookies you need. And usually I will end up kind of creating a wrapper for one of these, and I actually might create a wrapper for this in particular. But when you're working on a project, it's usually easy to create a wrapper for it so that other devs on your team can work with this. So we're going to actually do a addCookie. And I'm going to add the first one. And just to make sure, we always want to, verify. Let's manage.getCookies. And for each of the cookies in these cookies, let's just verify that this guy does not exist. This name, Steam language. If cookie, let's do dCookie, just to if dCookie.getName equals our, let's see, if this equals our, let's see, Steam language here, then I want to, better yet, we're just going to assert that this does, no, then system.out.print ln that this exists. And then I'm just going to for now, do an assert fail. Just so we can stop it here, stop what you're doing before we move forward. Now, let's see. Otherwise, it will move on forward through our code where it's going to add the cookie. Then we want to refresh the driver, manage.refresh. Manage. Point of time we do cookie tests in real time. At point of time we do cookie tests in real time. I'm trying to read. See, Pawan, you're asking what you have to validate when you're doing it real time. And I'll wait for that response. I'm gonna keep going. There's a delay. There's a lag between these. So, so driver.manage. Let's see. Get. No, I'm sorry. Driver.navigate. Refresh. We're going to refresh the browser, and then here we're going to make sure that we're in fact English. Oh, the reason this is more for debug code right here. So right here, I'm just debugging just to say, hey, the cookie isn't there. I'm doing this because the functionality, assuming when you get your recs from a developer, it'll probably explain to you saying, hey, when you open up a fresh browser, there is no cookie present. So one of the things we'd like to check is to make sure that the cookie is in fact not present before we want to move on with our testing, because that's part of that's by design. Um, so then that's kind of like the first part, and then the second part, what we're going to be doing is we're going to um, add in the cookie, and then make sure that the driver behaves based on what the cookie's value is. So we're going to verify that we are uh, that language is set to English. Um, and in this case right now, I'm just going to add a thread.sleep um, just to see visually that it's working for me, and then we can actually add our cert here. Let's add our exception signature here, and best add exception. Um, so we're gonna verify cookie does not exist on fresh session. So we do that here, and this is redundant. Then we add in our cookie, and then we verify in the driver that we're in fact English. So let's run this test. Run this test and see. Oh no, null pointer. What and why? Browser name. Interesting. Let's see. Why do we have a null pointer here? Get browser by property. Oh, it doesn't know I'm in local properties. I know why. So for those who were using IntelliJ, I have a previous video that talks about setting up local properties. So if I go to run and I edit configurations, there is a testng setup, and here is where I need to set up my property manager dot file equals. Oh crap! I need to get the path of my properties file. And let's go back to edit configurations. Default, we're going to go to testng. And I'm actually putting the entire path here. So let's apply that, click OK. All right, so now we are running, we should be able to run this properly. So let's run and see how this goes. Oh, we're getting another error again. Are we? We are. Shoot. Why are you not obeying? Get property. And, oh, sorry, another thing. So when I previously ran the setup, testng will create a kind of temporary configuration. IntelliJ will create a temporary configuration from when you last ran. So that would be this guy. So I'm going to delete it. Now when it runs, it's going to run default, which will run our new VM option here. So I'm going to click apply, click OK. Now let's go back to our test and run it for reals this time. Here we go. Oh, goodness. Now why? Class property. Oh, goodness. Oh, I spelled a word incorrectly. Let's go back and double check. property manager manager.file equals path. Okay. Rerun. Interesting. What is happening with my configuration? I just reinstalled a brand new IntelliJ, so it's um, maybe this will work. Maybe we can try. We're gonna try a relative path and see if this works. If not, I'm gonna try a. It's working. Fantastic. So if I go back into my inspect element and I look over into my, oh shoot, happened so fast. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy this method. Um, because we start in English and it ends in English, that's not really helpful. You know what I mean? So we're going to add the cookie and we're going to actually make sure it does exist. So we're going to say it does exist and then we're going to pass it. Otherwise, um, Boolean does exist equals false. And then we're going to say does exist equal true. And at the very end, we want to assert false does exist. Or true. Sorry. We want to make sure it does exist. Cookie exists. And this is yelling at me. Why are you yelling at me? What? Oh, it's because it's JUnit. Oh, gross. We don't like JUnit. Let's go back and change this. We're going to remove JUnit. Oh, I like JUnit, but I'm definitely working with testng right now. So that's why that was messing up right there. Let's put it back. We put our condition first, then our message second. This should give me test. There we go. Testng. Perfect. So let's run our test again. So it's going to run. It's going to add in our cookie. That happened really fast. And if you look, and in fact, it passed. If you noticed, it checked here, verified that it was not here. Then it added the cookie. Then it checked the cookies and made sure it was there and that it did exist. And then it assert true. Now, what the actual other assert you would need to do is assert that the language is English. And to do that, we would need to come to, let's go, steampowered.com. And we'd probably check some kind of element, maybe something along those lines. But but for now, we're going to move on to the next, being Spanish, and that one's going to be a little more tricky. So we're going to put a to do here. Now let's add our. Let's compress some of this code. Here we go. So adding the Spanish cookie. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, oh, by the way, something we should note is that every time you write your tests, you want to make sure that you're starting in a fresh state. So we're going to utilize testng's after method. After the method, or before method. Let's do before method. Before method. Public void remove cookies. We're going to driver.manage delete all cookies. So this will take the driver's current URL or current host that it's on, and it will delete all the cookies associated with it. So that being said, you need to make sure you driver.get your base URL, because if you're going to use this delete all cookies, you need to be on the domain that you're deleting cookies for. So that's very, very important. I can't stress that enough. So make sure that you are doing that, or you'll be deleting the wrong cookies. Um, so now we go back to adding our Spanish cookie. We're going to get our website. We're going to do the same thing where you can verify. Actually, we're going to use this, but we're going to change it up a little bit. And we're going to, or I'm going to delete these. We'll keep them. We're going to refactor. Cookie en. Oh, why is that refactor rename? En cookie. Do refactor. There we go. And copy this. And ES, which is the code for Spanish. So I'm going to use ES. By the way, I'm setting my languages, and I set a map here where I'm setting the code, and then I'm actually setting in the setting in the actual value for the cookie, so I don't have to memorize all of these. So if I decide to do all of the languages, I can just put them all into this map, and it scales up for me nicely. An alternative you can do is use a data provider, which is fantastic. I would recommend that. Just for the purposes of showing cookies, I'm just going to use it just in this map. So in this case, we're going to do the ES cookie. Add that cookie, refresh. We're going to verify that the cookie is here. But now, the thing we actually want to verify is the value. So we're going to make sure that it exists. If it does exist, then we're going to assert equals that the dCookie.getValue is equal to our ESCookie.getValue. And we don't need to actually do this does exist anymore. We're going to remove this guy, and we're going to remove this assert, because the assert's actually going to occur here. So I'm going to do the same for the one above or the one below as well. So we're going to remove those. So now our code is a lot cleaner, and we did some refactoring. Now we have our assert equals, and now we're checking the values of this Spanish cookie, making sure that we in fact set it to Spanish. Then our last assert would be assert that the language is Spanish. So to recap, add a Spanish cookie. We're going to open the driver. We're going to verify that there's no cookie by the name Steam language. We got to make sure it's not there. We're going to move on, and we're going to add our ES cookie. We're going to refresh the page. We're going to verify that the cookie is in fact in the browser in our session. And the last thing you do is assert that on the page that some word is in Spanish, and that would probably be to verify that the fact that you did set it to Spanish. So I'm going to add a thread.sleep so we can actually see that it was set to Spanish. Let's do 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And of course, we have to throws exception. here we go. And I did Ian. I was editing the wrong one. That was my fault. So let's run this code. And what happened? It's doing this again, is it? It is. So I have to edit the default again. Hopefully this is the last time. There we go. And I'm going to delete this guy, delete that guy, apply. Hey, thank you so much, Kibriel. Yeah, I'm trying. This is my first time streaming, so I appreciate you guys tuning in, really. Okay, so let's see if this works. All right, so we're running the add Spanish cookie. Oh goodness, why? This is really bothering me. I do not like that it's doing that. So source test, that should be working. Our working directory is our main directory. I don't understand why it's acting up like this. We just got it to work. You guys both saw that. I don't know. Okay, it ran this time, but now we have a different issue. And that issue being, oh my gosh, still running. I am so sorry. Let's see. Let's go back here, test in G. We're running. This is the source, the working directory. You know what? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do F, do tutorials. We're gonna do workspace and tutorial or no, WebDriver tests. There. So now that should do it. Oh my gosh. I don't understand what is going on. I am so sorry. Let's see. Run edit configurations. We're doing this right. Test in G. This is my working directory. No, it's not. Tutorials is my working directory. That's why. Silly me. Silly me. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Let's. You've got to be kidding me. It's funny as I work with this all the time, and now it decides to act up. Why? Why does it start to act up? Oh my goodness! I forgot the R again. And as QA, you're supposed to be super meticulous, and here I am forgetting a letter. So, is it gonna work this time? Are you gonna work this time? Nope, you're not working this time. And why not? Why are we not working this time? Property manager.file, which is tutorial. What? And then tutorial then it's source, test, resources, local properties. That's why I don't get why. We're gonna try something. We're gonna try something here. See, apply, click OK. We're gonna rerun this test again. There we go. Finally. Okay. Steam powered. So now, if you notice, everything is now in Spanish, right? Just by editing the cookie. So now we know that, editing the cookie, we saw it change to Spanish. So that's the perfect time to set here that you are in fact in Spanish. So looking at maybe one of the headers or something like that. Now this last part, it would be deleting a cookie. So a good thing to do would be, we're going to use the same kind of setup again. And this time, throws exception. This time, we're going to add in the ES cookie again, verify that it's there. Then we're going to, after the assert making sure that is in Spanish, we're going to delete our cookie. So to do that, we're in driver.delete or manage dot delete cookie, and we can delete the cookie itself, or you can delete it by name. And we already know the name of our cookie, so we're going to delete our name of our cookie, which I specified up at the top here, Steam language. Now deleting the cookie, driver.navigate, we're going to refresh the page. What should happen? It would go to English because as we learned from the original functionality of that web page, that when you open up that web page, it goes to the language based on your location. And because I am an English-speaking country, it says, hey, we're going to default you to English. So if I do a delete the cookies and I refresh the page, I should be back in English. So I'm going to thread.sleep. We're going to do it for another 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to I should assert that we are in English. So let's see this go through. So it's going to open up the page. I'm in English. It set the cookie. Now I am in Spanish, right? It's going to set the cookie again. It's going to refresh the page, and I'm back in English again. And that was all from deleting cookies. And this is really great for the other test case, which is the other end of the test, which would be actually navigating through the page, which actually I'll go to the page right now. The other test would be coming to language, setting it to, let's say, Spanish, right? It changes the language, and then I would come into inspector, and then I would try to find the cookie Steam languages and set it and check to make sure that it was changed to Spanish, and that's really important too. So, there's just out of cookies, you already will have 6 or 7 test cases right then and there testing all the functionality of cookies. And this was kind of a rundown of setting up and deleting cookies. I think that is about it with cookies. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Let's do a recap really quick. So, like we have how to set up our cookies, right? You're setting a name, a language, you're setting the name of your cookie and the value, and our value is English or Spanish. But because I'm using a map, I'm using just push EN or ES, and that will give me my value. Otherwise, you can add path, you can add an expiration date, and adding a domain, which is also really important, where when it comes to adding a cookie, you do not need to be on that particular page. So here's actually a good example of setting a domain. Let me just copy this guy here, and we're going to add cookie by domain. So where's the cookie? This guy. Let's get this guy here. And cookie by domain. And we're going to set it to ES and cookie by domain. So now I'm actually specifying the domain in this one, which is Steam powered. I'm going to remove that. So actually, I need to be on a page. So I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to go to http google.com. All right, let's try this out. And hopefully, what's going to happen is it's going to run Google. It failed. Okay, so I stand corrected. Even with your domain that you're setting, you still have to be on the current domain. So I apologize, that's incorrect. It is in fact that you need to be on the domain. So putting this back to setting it to your base URL, then that's adding the domain. So the reason why the domains here would be for subdomains. So if it was you had a domain that was, Steam powered. Here's an example. I'll show you. See, watch. I'm going to set the domain to Steam powered, but in the domain, I am going to add store.steampowered. We're going to get fancy here. We're going to get real fancy here. .com. So my base URL would be Steam powered. So let's see this work. Let's see this work. I think we can get this. Here we go. Oh, shoot. So if you notice up here, it does take you to store.steampowered. Oh, shoot. It auto redirects. So it's a bad test. But I think you understand though. The fact is if you were if your main domain was steampowered.com, and this was just like help.steampowered, then it would set the cookie for help.steampowered. So that's just keep that in mind if you have a subdomain that you're working with. So that's kind of where I'm at with cookies. If anyone has any questions, just feel free to just put that up in the chat. I'm not sure. I can actually go over some other things. If someone wants to just shoot me something I can kind of go over, that would be awesome. And also, if you have any questions or anything, if you post comments and down below, I can actually start adding more videos possibly and more live streams. I'm actually really excited to see how many people actually came out and actually watched this. So if anyone has any questions or anything, I can move on to something else. I mean, cookies was kind of the only thing I was really interested in, or was going to teach today. Let's see what else. See, we added cookies. You know what? I will do this. I'm going to add the last step. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm actually going to do that. I'm going to come to Steam powered. My cookies are set already. I'm going to, let's go to English again. Where are you, English? There we go. So let's see. I'm going to get inspector. Let's see, language pull down. So we have the language pull down. So we're going to make the last test. Let's see. At test. At test. Let's see. Pull public. Public void. Drop down to Spanish. There we go. And let's see, public down Spanish. So of course we do driver.get, and we're going to get our base URL again. Let's see, base URL. I'm going to put this back to store. And let's see, go back down. So let's see, we load up the browser. Then we're going to driver.find element by CSS selector. And I'm looking via ID, which is language pulldown. Which is, we're going to, oh, why are you yelling at me? Why is this yelling at me? Oh. What? Okay. I thought I totally got that right. .click. Alright, so we're going to have driver find element. We're going to click it. Then what's our next step? We click this. What comes up? We have, here it is. We're going to look for Spanish. Let's see. So how do we make this one look, someone looks different than the rest? So we have our language drop down, which we're clicking. Now we have all of these. And you know what? I'm going to do href, and I'm going to look for this. Let's see, copy, enter HTML. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to use href as my attribute to verify that this is the thing I want to click. So let's do that. So driver.findElement by CSS selector, and we're going to find by, what kind of tag was it? Let's check. A. So it is an anchor. So A, square brackets, and href equals, single quotes. Oops. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this value. Is it gonna? Nope. That's frustrating. Okay. If these editors were better, that would be amazing. Copy selector. Is this gonna work? Oh goodness, that's killing me. Okay, I'm just gonna type it out. L dash Spanish. So question mark L Spanish. Double check. Question mark L equals Spanish. There we go. And then we're going to .click. .click. So this will click on Spanish and then verify that we are in fact on Spanish. So, and there was a little bit of a delay as well. So we're probably here we would add a web driver wait. So let's add our web driver wait. And let's see. Where did I have this one before? Sign up test was a sign up flow. Here it is. Yeah. We're going to add our wait, and in our base class where we set up our driver, this is where we will set up our wait. I don't like the name of that. Just so we know to find it. So I'm putting that there. Wait equals new web driver wait. Oh, what are the we're looking for a web driver and a long. So that's the length of time I need to wait. So let's put driver, and let's do, what's the how long does it wait? Let's do 10 seconds. Oh, it's timeout in seconds. It's already in seconds. So let's put 10. be very careful not to put milliseconds for your WebDriver waits. So we're going to wait for a condition, and the condition is, let's see, let's get inspect element. This, and we're going to verify that this element has text as idioma. So wait dot until expected condition dot conditions dot let's see, presence of our text to be. That's what we want. Text to be. So we need a locator. So by dot CSS selector, which we know what that is, and I'll put that in a second. Which is this guy, I think. Language pull down. So after this, I'm going to go over refactoring this code so that it's a lot more user-friendly. Right now, it's a lot of copy-paste, and I can show you some really cool tricks to make it look a lot better. So WebDriver, find element, language pull down. Then we're going to check that it's Spanish, or we're going to click that it's Spanish. We're going to wait for it to change to Spanish. And then, of course, we have to test our cookie. So let's check our cookie here. Let's go to, we're going to do a getCookie. I don't think we've used getCookie, right? Oh, we haven't. That's great. So driver.manage getCookieNamed, and we know the name. And cookie, we're going to do ESCookie equals. So we have our, we should be able to get our cookie, and then, or actually this is our language cookie. Let's do it properly. Language cookie. Then from here, language dot, we're going to actually assert. That's what we want to do. Assert dot assert equals that our language cookie dot get value is equal to Spanish, which we know is from, where is it? Languages, and we're going to do ES because that was our key. Dot get ES. There we go. So assert equals. Let's, and this will, so now this test case is a lot more easy to read. It's simpler. The other one was a little crazy, but like I said, I was doing these past ones just to kind of show you what's kind of going on. So in this one, we have, we're going to go to our website. We're going to click the pull down. We're going to click Spanish. We're going to wait for it to switch to the Spanish language. And then we're going to verify that the cookie was in fact added. So let's run this guy. Let's see. So it's taken here, clicking. Whoa, whoa. See, boom, 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 fast. But our tests did pass though, right? We had our assert equals, and the value was in fact Spanish. So that was so that's a good example of running the kind of checking the cookies and making sure that the functionality of doing X, Y, or Z is actually creating the cookies that you need. So I think that will wrap it up for today on Selenium and cookies. I hope this was really helpful. I know it dragged on a bit, but next time I'm gonna try to come in here again. I want to try to keep trying out these streams and hopefully they kind of be more successful. I'm going to try to touch on more topics like Appium and things like that. So, yeah, until then, guys, I'll see you online.